we believe in the content we're doing so strongly. And so Just Do Good was born. And in the remaining years we have left, I want to feel like I'm doing something that matters.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cheryl Crisp from Movieguide, and this is Coffee and Conversation with Just Do Good. You both have illustrious careers in TV and film and are teaming up and launching a new content creation company called Just Do Good. Valerie, I love it. Tell us about it.
Thank you. I'm glad you love it. We love the title. We love the mission behind it. Monty and I have worked together on several projects over the years for other companies. And we decided that we really loved the concept of creating content that not only entertains, but inspires and actually makes a difference for individuals and or facilities. And so along the way, we launched in January of this year after having produced Divine Renovation seasons 1 and 2, and then said, what else can we do? And we realized there's so much we can do. And our next project that's coming out is a book for children about living with a disabled or challenged parent. What's it like when your mom or dad is dealing with some kind of disability? And how does that inform the family? And it's a very uplifting and encouraging book that we're very proud of that's coming up next.
Monty, about the lines of entertaining, inspiring, and enacting change, talk about your mission.
Our mission's simple. We live in a polarized world today that it's all this and all this. We want to go back to the basics. We want to go back to a time where you clicked on the TV and there was a good message. You clicked on the TV and it meant something. So our goal is to inspire, but also work parallel with the heroes that really doesn't get the spotlight it needs. And we found that that's been successful so far, Cheryl.
I want to ask both of you, why did you personally want to create Just Do Good? And what's your heart behind it?
Wow, that's a big question. A couple of reasons. When we shot our first feature film, which is really the first big project we worked on in 2022, it was March and the Ukraine war had just broken out. And we would get up and get ready to go to set and do something fun, but it was against the backdrop of this horrific invasion and war. It was really hard to put those two together. And we decided after shooting this film that the only way I can get up in the morning is to feel that there's a reason other than the dark, chaotic world we live in, because it is. And I needed to feel good about something. I personally needed to. That was the first reason. But most recently, and the most tragic for me, I hope I don't cry, is my husband passed away very suddenly so sorry, during the shooting of season 2, after we finished season 2 of Divine Renovation. And I really wanted to do something that was important, not just create entertainment, but do something important that was meaningful to me. Because when you lose someone so tragically, life takes a different experience entirely. And in the remaining years we have left, and nobody knows how many years anybody has left, I want to feel like I'm doing something that matters personally. That's my personal reason. And I know Monty has his, but we were able to, we're simpatico in that way, that we believe in the content we're doing so strongly. I'm never going to do a horror movie. There's a reason people do them, but it doesn't inspire me in any way. So I wanted to do something for me personally that made me feel like I had a mission on this earth. And so Just Do Good was born.
That's really beautiful. Monty, what about you?
Well, I mean, I come from feature films. I've been lucky on the path that I've had from working with Russell Crowe to Jennifer Aniston, and it was missing something. And so I was lucky enough to do a movie called The Favorite with John Snyder. And it was a faith-based movie. I really didn't have a lot of faith background. I lost my mother when I was 19, my father when I was 5. And now I'm a family guy. I have a son and a wife who I love dearly. And I wanted to be more than just in the business. And so we started thinking, me and Valerie, we love what we do. The reception is great. We won a telly. We're going for the regional Emmy. But those are accolades we really don't push. What we want to push is the messaging. And so Just Do Good was born out of the collaboration, the Thursday Night Club, and 2 seasons of Divine Renovation. And since then, it's really taken off. We were in Deadline the other day, and the testimonials that we get from people seeing our product on TV reinforces that just do good mentality. So that's kind of like why I want to do it.
Valerie, as you mentioned, you guys work together to create and produce Divine Renovation, and it's hosted by Eric Estrada. The pilot series is out on streaming now. Talk about the series and how small actions can create big impacts.
Oh, thank you for asking that question. We did season 1 in Wilmington, in Monty's hometown, because he was always up north. So finally we turned the tables and went down and stayed in his area. And it was really wonderful to meet the community, and the mayor came out. And that season, the pilot season, is not pretty in terms of production values, to be very honest with you. But what it is pretty is in the storytelling. And we wanted to make sure that the story was the main focus and the main character. And what we found several individuals who needed enhancements they couldn't do for whatever reason, whether they were physically incapable of doing it or financially not capable. We came in and made those changes that changed their lives, impacted their lives. I remembered my elderly father when I would go and change a light bulb in his house, and he'd say, "You're a wizard." And I'm like, "Dad, I changed a light bulb." It mattered. That little action that he couldn't do made such a big difference. We could not afford major enhancements for the people that we touched. But in one case, for an elderly couple, they had a lot of problems in their house that were dangerous. We had a mason come in, and he donated his services and his goods to rebuild the stairs in the front. We put in banisters. We gave them walkers. We gave them things. We changed their wiring in the kitchen that was dangerous so that they could have a good air conditioner. And then we gave them a party. We gave an 80th birthday party to the gentleman who had just celebrated his 80th birthday. So it was uplifting them spiritually. It was making them feel like they mattered. And those small fixes, they'll never forget.
Well, Cheryl, because she failed to mention that we only had 5 days to shoot it during a hurricane. So we got it done, thankfully, but that's where, once we start talking about the show in production terms, we took it and then we elevated it, and that's what led us to season 2.
Yeah, that's amazing. Monty, talk a little bit about the children's book, Officer Eric and the Very Special Dad.
Well, thanks for asking. One of the things what we wanted to do is have something tangible. If you can't watch the type of work that we're producing, maybe you can read about it. And so with Valerie's husband, Rick, who was a tremendous man, there was a special connection with MS. And we wanted to deliver a book to anywhere from 8-year-old to 11-year-olds and remind them that it's a stigma. Don't think it's a stigma if somebody has a rare disease or disease. We want to put that front and center. And so the book has messaging that relates so much to Valerie. She can relate to how this impacts children's lives. And so we wanted to bring a message. Who better to do that than Punch, Eric Estrada, since we had a relationship with him. So Officer Eric and the Very Special Dad, we want to resonate, and we're really excited about it.
Valerie, you're cooking up a new series. Since it's about food, give us a little taste of what it's about.
I'm so excited to do anything about food. It is one of my favorite things in the world. I love to cook. I love to eat. I love restaurants. Monty and I are both foodies, but we also believe that food builds bridges. Cultures, when they meet and they learn from each other, can really open up a dialogue. We've seen it happen before. If you're baking bread with people from different cultures, all of a sudden the differences are not there. It's the project of making the food that you sit down and break bread. I always said, when my husband was alive, with all these wars, almost he'd laugh at me. I'd say, people need to sit down and have a good cup of coffee and a nice coffee cake. Everything can be solved over that because food brings people together. So that's definitely on the back burner as we continue with our projects. We have several other things that are coming up, very excited about, but it's bringing different cultures together, learning through food, getting the backstory of restaurants and people from different cultures that have come to this country from an immigrant background and then becoming successful in their restaurants. So there will be a celebrity element to it. There'll be the common person who comes and joins and breaks bread, and learning about the culture of food in a different way, I think will be very inspiring as well.
I love that. What encouragement can you both give to our audience on doing good?
Well, I think the most encouraging thing for me to say to people is follow your heart, cut off the division, and just search your soul. And I think we're all pretty much good people in this country and around, but there's just so much division. And so I believe if we could get the division out and just go about helping your fellow person, that's our mission. And you know, it's not popular, but it's gaining audiences every day.
I think social media has caused so many problems. It's wonderful on many levels, but it has caused this nastiness, this I gotcha mentality, and we have got to stop it. It's terrible. It's not good for anybody. What I'd like people to focus on more is how you can be a better person. And that doesn't mean being a saint. It means doing something uncharacteristic that maybe is not comfortable. Try it. Meet somebody who's in need and do something, the smallest thing, even if it's a cup of coffee. If it doesn't have to be a huge effort. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's showing someone that they matter. And I'm happy to say that on the flip side of social media, because I do stay on Instagram a lot, I do see a lot of accounts where you do see people looking to help people through GoFundMe pages. That's the kind of content we want to focus on and stop. To Monty's point, I agree with him completely. The division is toxic. It has got to stop. And we are hoping to build bridges with people on both sides of the aisle, on different sides of the world. I don't care. The humanity is the most important thing, and finding that again is what we intend to do.
If you enjoy videos that follow your values like ours and you want to help us continue, go to movieguide.org/donate, because we're actually a nonprofit. You may not know that, but we're working in Hollywood every day to help families have more choices that follows their values. And also subscribe right now.